back to my channel. So today I have a very exciting video for you guys. We are going to be pre-celebrating, or I guess the sale is going on right now, but looking at what I got during Fragrance Buy's 9th anniversary sale. They have some great coupon codes for you guys. This time I noticed there were 4 at 4 different levels. And it goes by like intervals of 9. So the first level is if you spend $99, you get 9 off, and then 18, 27, 36, you get the whole deal. I will put all of the coupon codes in the description box below along with all that information so you guys can check it out. So if you live in Canada and the States, definitely do check it out. They always have door crashers. They have new fragrances that, you know, have either been sold out for a while or just new ones altogether on the website. So check those out. Personally, I did something very off-brand for me, and I have 3 fragrances to share with you guys that I've smelled before, that I actually did not blind buy, and that I knew exactly what I was getting into when I purchased them. So you guys know, I don't think that's ever happened, or if it has on my channel, it's been very rare. I'm a fan of the blind buy, so we're gonna get into it. I think, what should we start with? Maybe we'll start with the Byredo one. So let me just show you. It's Bibliothèque. So I thought at first, the first time I ever smelled this, that I didn't like Bibliothèque, and I was really upset and turned off by the fact that I wanted like a fragrance that really did smell like books. And that's what it comes like. I know Byredo isn't everyone's cup of tea. It completely is mine. And other than my first Byredo that I got in store, I always get my Byredo fragrances from Fragrance Buy so I can get them on a deal. But recently I went in store again and I re-smelled Bibliothèque just because I was smelling the whole line. And guys, I don't know what it is. My taste has changed or whatever. I loved it. So when I saw that they were selling it, I had to pick it up. I will say, this is the 50 ml by the way, I will say I still maintain it does not smell like the kind of like old school book smell that I love, but it's more perfumey, which makes sense. So this has plum, peach, violet, peony, leather, vanilla, patchouli, and musk. We'll smell it again together to kind of refresh my memory, but I will say this is the kind of fragrance, yeah, I don't know if it's helpful to know the notes for this one in particular. Okay, the reason I didn't like it to begin with when I first smelled it, I can still smell that reason, like the thing that turns me off, but it doesn't bother me as much. The thing that I don't like about it is in its opening in particular, it has an element of Gucci Rush, which I hate Gucci Rush. I own it because everyone and their mother was talking about how amazing it was. I never wear it. It's got like this very screechy pineapple, just off-putting vibe to it, and I hate it. I haven't worn it in ages, but there was something in this opening, and I'm like thinking it's like the plum peach. Like there's something in the fruitiness of this opening that is reminiscent of Gucci Rush, but it's not as bad. I really start to like this once it lays on the skin a little bit more, and we'll see by the end of the video when I put them in order, we'll see where it falls. I genuinely don't know. It settles down, and I remember from when I was in store that into this kind of really powdery sort of, I don't know, sweet, powdery, I don't want to say woodiness, but like even papery woodiness. That while isn't a Bibliothèque or like book library smell, I can see where they were going with that. And I'm just liking it. So this is a very, very unique scent. I would say absolutely not blind buy safe at all. If not only because of the Gucci Rush thing, but in particular because I don't think the notes give you really any indication of where this fragrance is going. Like, yes, there's a fruitiness to it. Yes, there's a powderiness of violet, but it's not, I don't know, it's not as typical or perfumey enough to really be safe to go for. And I think if I had even blind bought this myself when it first came out, I would have been really disappointed. I'm really glad I took my time and waited until I was more into it and I'd worn it in person. See, even now, it's starting to develop. So that is Bibliothèque by Byredo. I'm so happy to have it in my life now, but I really do recommend this is one. Just check it out in store before you buy it online on Fragrance Buy, just to make sure that it's completely to your taste. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the second one, which is another one in this line. I've now got, this is the last one, I think. I'm not sure, there may be more, but this is my fourth one in this line, and you guys, I can't be tamed. So this is L'Interdit Intense. This is the black one. This is the one with sesame, because I had the EDT and the EDP from ages ago. I more recently got the Rouge, and now I've got the Intense. So this one has black pepper, tuberose, sesame, orange blossom, vanilla, patchouli, and vetiver. I will say, again, I'd recently smelled this in duty free, and I was like, it really is the best. And you guys, I've had so many of you reach out in DMs or in comments when you come across my other videos that I mentioned the Interdit fragrances that I need to get the Intense if I don't have it, and I got it. I agree, it is great, well worth getting. Let's remind ourselves of it. From what I remember, I could smell sesame. Like, I could definitely smell that it was different. It wasn't like the EDT and EDP where they were very similar. Yeah, I just love it. It's completely up my alley. Someone actually recently, when they smelled this with me, they said that they thought it was like a masculine fragrance. And I never really recognized that or realized that, but I would say now, having smelled it again and with that knowledge, I can see why like a fragrance novice might smell this and think it's a little bit more unisex or masculine. There's certainly like a cologne-y vibe to it. I would say it's like a sweet cologne for sure, sweet men's fragrance, something along the lines of a Jean-Paul Gaultier, where I wear his men's fragrances easily because they're so sweet and I think, you know, toe the line very well. And you guys know me, I don't care at all about what is a men's fragrance or a woman's fragrance. I'll wear whatever I want. I just don't believe fragrance needs to be gendered in that way. However, I can recognize when something's more feminine or masculine, and I can see how this has elements to, this has less of the like deep tuberose sweetness. I feel like this is more subdued in its sweetness. There is like a sesame seed vibe to it that reminds me a little bit of Givenchy L'Ange Noir, but that one's way more forward and way more pronounced. So yeah, I think this has reduced the sweetness. I really like it. I think it's completely up my alley all the same, but I definitely notice a difference with the originals, and that's what I want. You know, I want while still being in the same family, I want flankers to be just different enough to warrant the purchase. So I really love this one. If you've always felt like you like the Interdit scent, but you didn't want that much even just kind of grapey sweetness because of the orange blossom, or like bubblegummy sweetness because of the tuberose, then give the Intense a try, because I think the name is misleading and it's not just more intense in terms of smell. I think it's actually a lot more subdued in some ways. So that is Interdit Intense. And finally, the last one. You guys may be surprised because I think in some video at some point I'd mentioned how I didn't like this. And that was also the case. So this is Bubble Bath by Replica's Bubble Bath from Maison Margiela. This was one, again, very much like Bibliothèque. When it first came out, I was like, this is going to be my favorite. I mean, I love Replica fragrances. I love a clean fragrance. I love a soapy fragrance. I was down for it. And then I didn't like it, and I didn't like it in store. And I think the reason why I didn't like it is every time I've smelled it in store, it's been after I smelled a whole lot of other fragrances, and then this does horribly. What you need to do with Bubble Bath is smell it separate from all other scents. So even right now, it might not be the best, but whatever, I'm filming. because it's a very clean scent that does not layer well at all. At least until now, I just find for my nose and my taste, I only like this when I smell of absolutely nothing and nothing around me is very scented. So we'll spray it. This has soap, bergamot, lavender, rose, jasmine, coconut, white musk, and patchouli. Yeah. So right now I can smell a lot of Intel D in particular because I just recently smelled it. But if I kind of concentrate on this scent and just this scent alone, it's actually really, really nice. Now, that being said, you gotta love the smell of soap. Like, you have to love it because it's pretty spot on. It is very, I don't even want to say Dove soap, but it's very like clean white bar soap. I would say it's much more of like a soap fragrance than a bubble bath fragrance. And maybe that's also one of the first reasons why I didn't like it to begin with. I don't think if the name is that indicative because a classic bubble bath scent is a little bit more bubble gummy, you know, like that pink fairy liquid or whatever it was. This doesn't smell like that per se. It kind of smells like white bar soap and musk. I don't get any lavender, maybe a touch of rose, but like the cleanest rose, you know? And this is a scent that I find as you would expect, really like on just pure clean skin right out of the shower or right before bed. It's comforting. It's not really a scent I would necessarily wear like out unless I wanted just that clean girl aesthetic. One of you messaged me that I should do a video on like clean girl aesthetic fragrances. I thought that was interesting. Let me know if you want that. But spoiler alert, this would be in it. Yeah, so that's the only reason I'd really wear it out, but I fell in love with it all of a sudden and I felt like I needed it in my life. So that's Bubble Bath by Maison Martin Margiela. Okay, so quickly we're gonna put them in order. Be sure, as I mentioned before, to check out the description box for all the information. The sale will end soon, so snag up any goodies that you want. I had a hard time because these are 3 fragrances that I knew I loved, and so it's always a little bit harder to put them in order since I know what I was getting into, but I think I'm gonna do it based on what I see myself reaching for the most compared to least, since I love them all. First place is very easy actually compared to second and third, and that is Intel D Intense. It's just so easy for me to always love an Intel D fragrance. This is another kind of string to my bow in that scent family and in that fragrance family, so I love her. Would definitely reach for her above the other 2. It's just a more of an easy reach for me. In second place, surprisingly, even for me, I put Bubble Bath because I think there's just more times of the day, because I would wear it after a shower or to bed. There's just more occasions where I would reach for this. Even though when we get to Bibliothèque, you'll see I find it to be a more interesting scent. This is not as interesting. Because it's more of an easy reach, like I say, I would choose that one. And then finally, in last place, but certainly not least, I put Bibliothèque. Bibliothèque is one where I've warmed up to, certainly, but I still, partially because of the Gucci Rush element, but partially because it's so, so unique. This is not a fragrance I would really wear at home that often, except for, you know, when I was in the mood for it. I would have to wear it out, and it's like, you gotta be in the mood for it. Like, I can see myself reaching for this one for like a short period of time, getting sick of it, pulling back, going back to it, whereas Intel D Intense or any of the Intel Ds are fragrances I reach for way more likely, you know, throughout the year. So those were the 3 I got for the sale. As always, don't forget to comment below and tell me which one of these fragrances you've tried or you'd like to try. Don't forget to subscribe here, follow me on Instagram, check out Fragrance By, and I'll see you next time. Bye!